afternoon, I'm Riza Diaz. This is One News Now. The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee has released its recommendations on the sugar import fiasco. For details, Man Los Baños is reporting to us over the phone. Man, good afternoon. Can you tell us about the committee report? We'll circle back into that report of Man. Meanwhile, President Bongbong Marcos was able to bring home some more than 800 billion pesos worth of investment pledges from his state visits to Indonesia and Singapore. Camille Samonte with the details.
My inaugural state visits to our two important ASEAN neighbors were fruitful and engaging.
That was how President Bongbong Marcos described his inaugural back-to-back state visits to Indonesia and Singapore. In his arrival speech, the president touted that he secured 804.78 billion pesos worth of investment pledges from his trip. He said this will support the country's economic recovery efforts and create more jobs for Filipinos. The investment pledges cover the following sectors: renewable energy, data centers, e-commerce, broadband technology, startups, government housing, and agriculture.
Ito po ang isa sa mga ipinangako ko nung nakaraang SONA at na isusulong natin ang foreign investment upang lumakas ang ating ekonomiya.
But the president admitted that the investment pledges are just the first step. He vowed that his cabinet will make sure that these commitments will ultimately benefit the public.
Gagawin natin lahat na itong mga sinimulaan dito sa una kong state visit ay maging makabuluhan at maitatapos natin hanggang maramdaman na ng pangkaraniwan na taong bayan ang investment na yan at mararamdaman kung gaano karami ang dinalang trabaho, gaano karami ang dinala na bagong kita na ibibigay para sa ating mga kababayan.
Before leaving Singapore, the president invited Singaporean investors to invest in the Philippines. In his speech, he said the domestic economy is on a steady path toward economic recovery.
Today, we shine a spotlight on Asia's fastest rising star, the Philippines. In the next few years, our economy is expected to outperform our regional peers. My administration is committed to establishing an even more competitive business climate conducive to high-value investments.
5 bilateral agreements were sealed during the state visit. These are the Memorandum of Understanding for Digital Cooperation and Data Protection, Agreement on Regional Counterterrorism Cooperation, and MOU on the development of New Clark City and water resource management. A joint communique on the recruitment of Filipino health workers were also signed. For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Now, in Singapore alone, the Philippines was able to secure over $6 billion or 374 billion pesos in investments. A majority of these investments will go to transportation, followed by renewable energy. Singapore's business community also pledged to invest in information technology, maritime development, and the startups industry, among others. Now, these investments are expected to generate at least 15,000 jobs for Filipinos across various sectors. Now, the Agriculture Department is denying a supposed shortage in sardines. In fact, the DA says sufficiency level for sardines was pegged at more than 400% in the second quarter. The agency is also forecasting an annual production of over 293,000 metric tons, which is almost triple the expected national demand. Canned sardines manufacturers earlier warned of a possible shortage due to limited fishing waters. But Fisherfolk Group Pamalakaya says commercial fishers are claiming a supposed shortage to gain more fishing access in municipal waters. Now, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Philippines has qualified for the Men's Softball World Cup after finishing second in the Asian tilt. Marty Bautista with the details.
The Philippine men's softball team is going back to the Men's Softball World Cup after another runner-up finish in the recent Asian Men's Softball Championship in Kochi, Japan. The team arrived early this morning at the NAIA Terminal 1. The RP Blue Boys lost to host Japan in the finals, but reaching the final stage was already enough for the team to make it to the World Cup for the 9th time in the last 11 editions. Before the finals, the team had lost to Japan and Singapore in the preliminaries, but bounced back by beating India 8-1. The Blue Boys ranked 21 heading into the meet. Head coach Apple Rosales says the team persevered despite fatigue and uncontrollable weather conditions.
Ang sinabi ng coaches, especially yung pitching coach, yung assistant coach ko na, Coach, wala nang bukas. Sabi ko, as a head coach, sinabi ko sa mga players na ito na yung pinaghahandaan ng team. So kung matatalo tayo dito, sayang naman.
This is the Blue Boys' first tournament since losing the gold medal match to Singapore in the 2019 SEA Games hosted by the Philippines. Team captain Michael Pagkaliwagan says getting to play in the Worlds is a dream come true.
Bago mag-start ng laro, sabi ko sa sarili ko, ibigay niyo sa akin, Lord, yung panalo namin kasi para ako po ngayon ay mag-retired na po ako sa paglalaro.
With this, the goal for the Blue Boys is a top 8 finish as they look to improve from their 16th place output in the last edition in 2019. The country's best finish was 4th place, way back in 1968. The World Cup is scheduled on November 26 until December 4 in Auckland, New Zealand. For News 5, Marty Bautista, We Are One News.
So here's a quick look at today's other top stories. The number of jobless Filipinos slid down to 2.60 million in July from almost 3 million in the previous month. The Philippine Statistics Authority says unemployment rate now stands at 5.2%, which is still high compared to pre-pandemic levels. 5 out of 7 teachers from the Bacoor National High School are now facing administrative charges for alleged sexual harassment of students. DepEd spokesperson Michael Poa said these teachers were also placed under a 90-day preventive suspension. And Pag-asa says Tropical Storm Inday has accelerated westward over the east of northern Luzon. Inday is expected to intensify into a severe tropical storm but will have no direct effect on the country's weather. Now for more updates, visit News 5 to Philippine Star and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.